Hello, good afternoon. I wanted to come on live today and talk a little bit about the winter solstice. Sorry, this is the second try. The first try, the dog would not stop barking, and then I had a weird connection. So I'm trying again. Hopefully this time it will work out okay. I wanted to talk a little bit about the winter solstice since that is coming up really quickly on us. It is November 29th, and you'd be surprised how quickly this can come up. I want to talk about the themes of the solstice and then maybe some ideas that you can use for your celebrations. I'm not going to go through every wintry solstice-y sort of story because that would take all day and I have a limited amount of time today. So let's talk about the main themes of the solstice. The solstice itself is the longest night of the year. So it's the day where we have the shortest amount of daylight and the longest amount of darkness. That's what the solstice is in a nutshell. So a couple of those themes are growing light. You know, it's the darkest night, it's the longest night, and it's the growing light. So those are some of the themes that you can create your celebration around. And I'll give you some ideas about how to do that in a little bit. Darkness and introspection, where as it's the longest night, it's a good time to do introspection, to maybe release some of the things that you don't want to bring from the old year into the new year. It's a good time to think about all the lessons that you've learned. It is the birth of the sun child because it's the longest night from winter solstice forward. We're going to have growing light. So some people celebrate the birth of the sun child, which goes really well with Christmas. So that wraps up in a pretty package. And then there's the Oak King conquering the Holly King. And I think this is primarily a Wiccan tradition, but at winter solstice and summer solstice, these two kings battle it out. And from summer solstice to winter solstice, the Holly King reigns, because that's the waning year. And starting on winter solstice, it's the waxing year. So that's when the Oak King wins and he reigns until summer solstice. So some Wiccan groups you'll see there's like a reenactment of the fight of the Oak King and the Holly King at winter solstice. Sometimes it also happens in summer solstice, but I've mostly seen it done at winter solstice. All right, so those are some of the main themes. Growing light, dark night, introspection, lessons learned, birth of the sun child, the beginning of the waxing of the new year. So let's talk about some ideas some ways that you can use some of those themes in your personal celebrations. You could reenact the Holly King Oak King fight, and that could be you're physically reenacting a fight, or you could, if you're having a bunch of people come over for Yule or for winter solstice, you can break them into teams and have some sort of competition, making sure that the Oak King team wins, of course. That's like a modern spin on it. You can do a toasting circle. This is something that my group often does at winter solstice. Basically, everybody has a glass of wine or mead or whatever, cider, for the kids, cider. And everybody's in a circle and you go around and you make a toast. So it's up to you, whatever you want to toast to. And you can do several rounds. It doesn't just have to be one round. I think usually we toast to the gods, to either our personal god or the god and the goddess or whatever deities, nature, the universe, however you see like the co-creator of your life, I guess. We usually will do one round of that, and then you can do a round of what, like your favorite accomplishment for the year, or a toast to somebody who inspired you, things like that. You can just toast. You could just open it up and just make a toasting circle and just go around in a circle and everybody toasts. Many times there will be some sort of vessel, so you can like do an offering, like a libation offering as part of your toasting circle. That's up to you. It's kind of a really nice way to celebrate without having to do like a big ritual. So if you have like people who aren't pagan and people who are pagan all at the same gathering a toasting circle is a pretty chill way for everybody to like get together to make a central part of your gathering like happen without doing a ritual. And everybody can participate, from the children all the way up through the adults. So it's kind of a fun family thing that you can do together. You can sing carols. That's another way that you can celebrate the solstice. You can sing carols. If you search pagan Christmas carols on Google, you will find so many adapted Christmas carols, or you can write your own, or you can sing the traditional carols that aren't super Jesus-y if that's not part of your path. You can mull wine. Basically, mulled wine is wine that's heated up with some with mulling spices, which are like some autumn warm spices. Think like cinnamon and clove and like allspice, those sorts of things. And it's a really nice warm beverage to offer your guests. It's really good too. So you can look up those mulled wine recipes. If you are doing an actual ritual, one thing that I've done in the past that I've really liked is you start in a room that's completely dark. You can light one candle or something because, you know, you're going to need to be able to see. And everybody chants a chant or sings a song. And as people are singing the song, you can have them close their eyes if you want. You light all of the candles. So you start in a darkened room and it gradually becomes lighter. And you can even see this behind your eyelids if you have a lot of candles, if you wanted everybody to close their eyes as they chanted. So you're increasing the light, celebrating the increasing light. And in a way, you're like kind of calling back the light, because that's another thing that a lot of people do is they greet the sun. They'll stay up late all night, like hold vigil, and then greet the sun or call back the light. A chant that I've done a lot of times is turn, turn, turn the wheel, return, return, return the light. Turn, turn, turn the wheel, return, return, return the light. So that's a really, really simple chant that you can start slow and you could speed up, or you can start quiet and get louder. It's not a chant that people have to read. It's very, very simple. That's just an idea I'm throwing out your way. You can create tree ornaments with wishes. You can, if you go, I mean, just creating tree ornaments is awesome. You can go on Pinterest and look up 1 million ways to create a Christmas tree ornament, or a Yule tree, or a solstice tree ornament. One thing that I've done in the past a couple times is you get like those clear glass bulbs that you can get at Michael's or your craft store, and you create little slips of paper. You can do them all different colors, and you can have your guests or your family or yourself, you write wishes for the new year on them. So, or goals, if you're goal oriented and you want to write your goals down, you can write your goals on that. And then you roll the paper up. So it's like a little curly Q, and you just stick it in the ornament. And you can just put a whole bunch. If you have a lot of people, you can just put a whole bunch in there. And it's so if you wanted to, you could just do red, yellow, green, gold, whatever, silver, whatever. And then you'll have this glass ornament that's filled with all these pretty Christmas colored pieces of paper. And you'll know that inside are your wishes for the new year. So then you can hang that on your tree, put it away with your Christmas ornaments or solstice ornaments. And then when you bring that back out next year, you can break it or open it up or whatever and look and see how many of your wishes came true. If you wanted to, you could even do that, and if you create that ornament with your wishes inside, and you could do as part of your ritual charging everybody's ornaments on the altar if that's something that if you want to include ritual in your celebration. Another way to do something similar is if you have a bunch of people, and see these things are pretty cool because they're not super witchy. They're not like broomstick and cauldron and pointy hat sort of witchy. It's intentional magic. It's more energy work. And so if you've got again like a mixed audience that's coming to your gathering, something that you can do, you can invite people to do that. So another way to do that is with the Yule log. And the Yule log is a tradition that comes from Germanic paganism, they think. And what I've done in the past is get a log drill holes in it, and you can have people write down their wishes for the new year and stick them in the little holes, and then you burn the Yule log. So that's another idea. Again, it's something that you can do with a mixed audience. Another thing to do for solstice, you can ring bells. You can ring bells to the directions. You can ring bells just in general to invite whatever kind of spiritual energy you want in. You can invite the, call the light back, like I mentioned, or you can call the light back or call in your deities or just bring good cheer to everybody. Kids really love ringing bells. Kids really love making noise. So it's a really good thing to do with kids. So that's another thing that you can do for solstice. And I have a Pinterest board. I'll link it. My Pinterest name is Barefoot Witch. And you can, if I don't get a chance to link it right now, I'll link it later. But it's like pinterest.com/barefootwitch. And I've got a bunch of boards, very carefully curated boards. And I have one for winter solstice. And it's got different kinds of food and different ritual ideas and altar creation. I mean, I feel like creating an altar at Yule is pretty easy because we have all of these amazing, beautiful things that we can buy because they're all on sale because of Christmas. So, you can create an altar. So check out my Pinterest boards if you want some more ideas. And I think that's about it. Winter solstice is a really, really cool and flexible Sabbath. And that's really good because I don't know about you, but like every weekend in December is marked off for me. So, so it's nice that it's flexible. You can celebrate with just your like spiritual family or open it up because there are so many traditions that are both pagan and have been kind of mutated into the Christian traditions, which is pretty awesome in some ways. I mean, it's not awesome in some ways, but it's great because it allows us to celebrate with whoever we want to celebrate with and not like worry that they're going to judge us for our crazy pagan witchy ways. So I hope this has helped, maybe giving you a little bit of insight, maybe giving you some ideas for what you can do for your solstice. This is probably going to be my last Wednesday live stream for a while. Like I mentioned on a video that I posted I think earlier this week, I probably will be moving these to the weekends. So just letting you know, and I hope you have a lovely day. And I can't wait to hear about what you're doing for solstice. Bye.